In 34 days, WrestleMania will finally be here. But before we approach WrestleMania, we have to get there first. And that road to WrestleMania is getting bumpier and bumpier each and every day. And Nashville, Tennessee was the next stop on that bumpy road. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Love It Raw. And let's get right down to business. We are going to start with a message from the 14-time WWE Champion Triple H. And his message is about respecting authority.
Authority. A select few have it. The rest of you bow down to it. Now I admit it, all of you have an authority figure in your life that you have to listen to. An authority figure that tells you what to do, where to go, how to think, how to dress, and every single one of you hate it. You hate it. You want to do something about it. You want to stand up. You want to speak out. You want to challenge that authority, but you do not. You don't because you are afraid. Now, that fear is not a bad thing. That fear is what keeps things in place. That fear is what nature provides you, that fear, let's just say, so that you will all know your place in life.
And it was a simple message that was delivered by Triple H to open up Monday Night Raw. That the authority always wins. The authority is the higher power. Respect the authority, you get what you want. Disrespect the authority, there's prices to pay, there's consequences, and there's hell to pay. Just ask Roman Reigns. Just ask anybody that has defied the authority over the years, and look what they have become. Insecure, disoriented, or even non-existent. And speaking of people who defy the authority, there's another person that is going to be on that list, and his name is Dean Ambrose. He comes out, defies Triple H, and says that he's ready for a fight, and he wants to prove it heading into a fight with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He challenged Triple H for the WWE title at any given time before WrestleMania. But Triple H just looked at Dean saying, "You've got to be kidding me. Who are you to come out here against my orders and to make a match for a belt you're not even worthy of?" But that didn't stop Ambrose from saying to Triple H that he'll beat the crap out of him, which he won't, which he'll never do. So we have to find out from Triple H, is he going to give him that match, or is he not going to give him that match? And Triple H said that he will give Dean Ambrose the answer at the end of Monday Night Raw. It's a hell of a way to start a great Monday Night Raw, don't you think? I thought it was a great start. The authority against the authority defier. But that's not all we have to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. No, 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 no. We have a lot of matches that have an impact on WrestleMania season coming up. Take, for instance, Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. This was a number one Contenders Divas match to find out who would face Charlotte in Dallas at WrestleMania in a month's time. Sasha and Becky, they know each other like the back of a book because they had numerous encounters in NXT in Orlando. Back and forth, punch for punch, blow for blow, move for move, you name it, they delivered. It was a great match. Unfortunately, we had no clear, concise winner because both divas had their shoulders on the floor. So it was a double count for a draw. Now, you're probably thinking, where does this leave the Divas Championship match? Well, Charlotte would announce later on in Raw that Sasha and Becky Lynch have one last chance to prove to themselves that they want to go to WrestleMania and fight for that title. So, we're going to find out Thursday who wins that match. If there is no clear, concise winner on Thursday, stay tuned next Monday to find out what happens in regards to what is now becoming a volatile situation for the Divas Championship. So that's one significant importance to WrestleMania. Here's another good significant importance that could possibly have an impact on WrestleMania. The New Day, the tag team champions, the greatest tag team champions in the modern day WWE. They're going against a newly formed team of Y2AJ, Jericho and AJ Styles. And this was formed, honestly, on SmackDown last week when they fought the New Day. Now, great match, good action. Y2AJ would pick up the win and then delivered a big bombshell, and it was made on Raw. Y2AJ said to the New Day, since we're the new tag team here in the WWE and AJ's a new guy in the company and I'm a veteran, we want to take those tag team titles away from you. And the New Day doesn't like that because they feel that there's nobody better than the New Day to face them for the WWE tag team titles. So with that match in the making, the Authority granted that match next week on Monday Night Raw. So next week on Raw, and this could be a big importance to WrestleMania, is New Day versus Y2AJ, and it is for the WWE Tag Team Championships. So I'm thinking this, okay, if Y2AJ somehow miraculously beat the New Day for the gold, and they go into WrestleMania, they should face the Dudleys. Because the Dudleys, I think, would win their 10th tag team title on the biggest stage of WrestleMania. So watch out next Monday night for the tag team championship match, how this could possibly play into WrestleMania. Now that I went into the two matches that are significant to WrestleMania, we're going to take you now to Stephanie McMahon. Now, last week, she was interrupted by her brother Shane. So Stephanie never got the chance to deliver her speech, and she did. She got emotional this week on Raw. But the crowd showed a lot of disrespect. She is the queen of the WWE, folks. You have to show your respect to the queen, the innovator of the Authority, the mind behind Raw. So while the crowd was showing her disrespect, Stephanie got really agitated, and she brought out the evil McMahon in her with this message to the WWE Universe.
And what did Shane do with all this information he has over my dad? Well, he asked for a multi-year vacation. Where's he been for the past 7 years? Oh, but then Shane can just waltz in the prodigal son and demand to take over. Why? Because he's a McMahon? Because he's a man? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's because of his family's legacy that he spoke so passionately about last week. Well, Shane, if you really loved and supported your family, then it would have been nice if you showed up at least a couple of times. No. You guys think about it. He hasn't even been to a WrestleMania, let alone a Monday Night Raw. I'd call that abandonment. That's certainly not supportive of any of you, and it's not supportive of my family. Shane doesn't care about my grandfather, my father, and he certainly doesn't care about me or my family. That point he's made very clear. And you know what's really sad? What's really sad is that I love my brother. I do. I love my brother. But I don't respect him because every single time I let my guard down, he stabs me in the back like he did last week. It eats my brother alive that Hunter and I are married. It eats him alive that I'm in this business and that I wield so much power. And Shane, you mentioned your sons are in line to take over WWE, and you know what? My nephews will have that right, but they'll have to fight for it just like my daughters will. I noticed you conveniently left them out last week. But Shane, what makes you think you can just come back because you're a man and take over my show and my business? The very thought of Hunter and I having to work for you makes me want to vomit. But I don't have to worry about that, do I, Shane? Because at WrestleMania, The Undertaker is not only going to defeat you at Hell in the Cell, he's going to dismember you. And then you can take a more permanent vacation. But you...
So, there you have it. Stephanie McMahon is agitated over the lack of respect by the crowd in Tennessee and over the disrespect by Shane McMahon last week, dropping a bombshell on the McMahon family. I can see the point of Stephanie McMahon hoping that The Undertaker wins so that the authority remains in power and intact in the WWE, because I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, the authority is what's best for business. Now, a lot of you may not like the authority, a lot of you may not like it, but that's just too damn bad. Respect the authority, as Hunter said in the beginning of the show. Love the authority, like Stephanie said, and things will come into play. Disrespect the authority, just like Hunter said, and what Stephanie said, and you get the evil McMahon power trip. So it's either or, ladies and gentlemen. Take it or leave it. And that message by Stephanie reiterates what her husband had to say earlier. But we're not done yet. Oh no, we still have a little bit more to talk about. We also had more matches. Now, these matches are not that important for WrestleMania. No. These are side matches now, okay? Kevin Owens and The Big Show. Now, this was actually the continuation from SmackDown on Thursday when Kevin Owens beat The Big Show. So Big Show got his revenge and beat Kevin Owens on Raw. Then we had the League of Nations against the Lucha Dragons. The Mexican mosquitoes, as I call them, the pests of the WWE. And I have to say, thank God the League of Nations took away those Mexican mosquitoes and sent them packing into Hyper freaking Nation. I'm so happy about that. Then we had this. Ryback. A new side of Ryback. One I think is best for the business. Best for his career. And he took on one member of the Social Outcast and he just laid him to waste. It was brutal to watch. I mean, I thought the referee was going to stop that match. And I think this side of Ryback has what it takes to be not just Intercontinental or United States Champion, Tag Team Champion maybe, or even WWE World Champion. So this side of the Undertaker, of Ryback, has to continue. Has to. So, now to the good parts, ladies and gentlemen. Vince McMahon makes his way to the ring. And just like Triple H and just like Stephanie, he's really angry. Because he's not getting the respect from the crowd. So Vince McMahon delivers his important message about Shane and the control of the WWE.
Don't you know who I am? Well, imagine this. Imagine me standing in the middle of this ring. It's the night after WrestleMania, and I'm introducing my son, Shane McMahon. Now, why would I be doing that? The only reason I would be doing that is because hell would have frozen over at WrestleMania. The seas would have parted, the earth would have spun on its axis, and there would have been a miracle at WrestleMania. Shane McMahon would have defeated The Undertaker. As a result of that, Shane McMahon would be running Monday Night Raw. Which means he'd be running the entire company, quite frankly. It also means that my daughter and my son-in-law would immediately quit the business.
We can't have that happen. I'll tell you now.
Shane McMahon would take me and put me over here in some sort of corporate sideline with mothballs and cobwebs. I'd never seen the light of day again. It means Shane would come down the aisle and step into this ring to the accolades of all of you and all of your aspirations and hopes that Shane would lead you. He would lead you into a new era of WWE, a new era of sports entertainment never to be attained before. Let's face it, none of that is going to happen. Because only fools believe in miracles. My son Shane may be foolish, but I still love him. I love him more than he loves me, but I also love him enough that I'm going to teach him a lesson. I love him enough to teach him a lesson he will never, ever forget. I love him enough to put him in the ring against the most cold-hearted, destructive force in the history of WWE.
He's talking about The Undertaker. Vince McMahon is making it clear that the only reason why he's doing this is so that Shane is taught a lesson. He wants to make sure that Shane McMahon never sees the light of day after WrestleMania. So what you heard from Triple H, from Stephanie, and from Mr. McMahon is clear and cohesive, let's just put it say. That the authority is what's best for business. Now, with that message out of the way, What does The Undertaker have to say? Is The Undertaker going to like this match, knowing that he's working on behalf of the Authority? Or is The Undertaker just going to be The Undertaker that we have known for the last 25 years and just do things on his own terms? So The Undertaker is making his long walk, and he immediately grabbed Vince McMahon. And Undertaker just said this one thing to Vince McMahon.
You know what's going to happen when I close that door behind me at WrestleMania. You know what I do. The blood of your son is going to be on your hands, not mine.
Wow. The Undertaker laid the law down to Vince McMahon, saying that he will not be responsible for what happens to Shane in Dallas at WrestleMania inside Hell in the Cell. Wow. You can tell one thing, that The Undertaker is going to annihilate Shane McMahon. Whether it's for the Authority or not, The Undertaker is going to do what's best for himself, not what's best for business. But then after that, Vince just said one thing about Shane McMahon to close out the segment. That after WrestleMania, he's going to look at Shane McMahon not as a son, but as a son of a bitch. Harsh words from the father of Shane McMahon. I want to hear what you have to say now, ladies and gentlemen. After hearing what you have heard on this show, from the messages of Triple H, to the matches, to the Stephanie McMahon message, The Undertaker and Vince McMahon message, what is your opinion? Let us know. Shout out what you think. Is WrestleMania shaping up to be good? Or is WrestleMania shaping up to be a disaster? Do you see the Authority remaining in power after WrestleMania? Or do you see Shane McMahon taking WWE to brand new heights? Shout it out. Shout out a comment on our YouTube channel at Watch the Podcast. And we promise that next week on our show, we will read your comment out loud and respond to that. And we're going to close out the show with the main event and the long-awaited answer by the King of Kings, Triple H. It was Dean Ambrose put into a match by Triple H against Alberto Del Rio. Now, Del Rio had this match in complete control. There was spurts of Dean Ambrose's retaliation and all that, but overall, Alberto Del Rio had to complete control of this match. Now, what happened after that was Triple H comes out. He sicks the rest of the League of Nations out on Dean Ambrose. They lay him to waste. Here comes the King of Kings. Here comes Triple H. And he told Dean Ambrose, you're not worthy enough of going for the WWE Championship. You're not even on that level. You'll never be on that level. So Dean comes out, sporadically just attacks Triple H, but Triple H retaliates with the pedigree and told Dean Ambrose, if that's how you want to be, you got your match. You're going to go for the WWE Championship. We just don't know if it's going to be a week before WrestleMania, at WrestleMania, or next week. We don't know. That has yet to be determined. More than likely, it's going to be on the Raw Chicago show. So we'll see what happens. And then Dean said to Triple H, thank you. But Triple H took that as an offensive remark. So what did Triple H do? What he does best. He laid the living crap out of Dean Ambrose. He did just what he did to Roman Reigns last week on Raw. But this time, Dean Ambrose was not bleeding. Dean Ambrose was laid dead. So there you go. This night on Monday Night Raw was all about the Authority and how they are running the show with the utmost power, dignity, and clarity. That if anybody would get in their way, there will be prices to pay, just like what happened with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. I must say, Monday Night Raw was very eventful. I can only imagine what's going to happen when they hit Chicago next week. I'm looking forward to that because Shane McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be on Raw. What is he going to say to Vince's remarks? What's he going to say about Stephanie's remarks as well? Stay tuned to find out that and more as the road to WrestleMania is winding down day by day. And that's it. I want to say thank you to everyone who has taken the time to listen to the show. I know you all have busy schedules. Viewership, I know, has been on the decline for the last couple of weeks, but we want to try to get that up before we hit WrestleMania. So, subscribe to our channel. Like our videos, watch our videos, share them, comment, do anything. Make this show popular. We want this show to be huge for WrestleMania. And it can't happen without you. I am the boss, signing off. Until next week, this has been We Love It Raw.